Today we're talking about one of my favorite outdoor perennials called sedum. If you're looking for a plant that's beautiful, incredibly easy to grow, drought tolerant, pollinator friendly, and it comes back every year, it's hard to beat sedum. It's one of those plants that almost thrives on a little neglect, which makes it perfect for busy gardeners and people who have a black thumb and just have a hard time keeping outdoor plants alive. Sedum belongs to a group of plants commonly known as stonecrops. So there are actually hundreds of different species and cultivars of stonecrops. Some stay just a few inches tall and spread across the ground as ground covers, while others actually form these upright clumps that can grow honestly 18 to 24 inches tall, or even larger depending on the variety. They have thick fleshy leaves because they're actually succulents, so those leaves store water, which is one of the reasons they're so drought tolerant. Many varieties produce beautiful clusters of flowers in late summer and fall, providing an important nectar for some bees, butterflies, and other pollinators when many other flowers have already finished blooming. I ordered these 3 different sedum from Wild & Son, who I'm partnered with on my Plant Care 101 series, and I have ordered so many plants from them, indoor plants, outdoor plants, perennials, annuals, and they've always arrived in great shape. They have such a wonderful selection, and everything's really healthy and beautiful when it arrives, and I've had nothing but great experiences with them. And you can get 10% off your first order with code Ashley10, which is really awesome because who doesn't love a deal on plants? But I think these sedum are absolutely beautiful. I especially love this one with the variegation, and it's called an Atlantis sedum. I also got this type of sedum, Siboldi sedum, and then this is the last one I got, which is the Dream Dazzler Sun Sparkler sedum. Look how beautiful they are. I'm totally obsessed. One of the things that makes sedum such a wonderful outdoor plant is how adaptable it is. Most popular garden sedums are hardy from USDA zones 3 through 9, although it does vary slightly depending on the variety. If you live somewhere with freezing winters like I do here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, you don't need to worry. Most perennial sedums simply die back during the winter and come back from the roots every spring. If I had to choose one single factor that would most likely guarantee your success, it would be choosing the right location for sedum. To put it simply, sedum absolutely loves the sun. Ideally, you want to plant sedum somewhere that it gets at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every single day. The reason for this is the more sun it gets, the more fuller the plant will actually become and less leggy, and it will have better flowers. If it's planted in too much shade, you might notice these things: floppy stems, fewer flowers, stretched growth so it becomes leggy, and just overall a lot slower growth. Now, some varieties do tolerate a little bit of afternoon shade, especially in really hot climates, but overall think full direct sun all day long. Now, soil is one of those areas that people actually create accidental problems for themselves. Because sedum is a succulent, it absolutely hates sitting in soggy soil. The ideal soil is gritty, loose, well draining, and able to dry between waterings. If your soil is heavy clay, it's going to be hard for the soil to drain enough, so you can mix in some substrates like coarse sand or some small gravel or any other materials that improve drainage before planting. Now, if your soil is already sandy, that's perfectly fine. Sedum actually really tolerates poor soil very well. Unlike many flowering plants, you don't need heavy, rich, amended soil for sedum. Now, too much organic matter and fertilizer can actually cause weaker stems that will cause the plant to flop over later in the season. So let's get these planted. Dig a hole that's approximately the same depth as the nursery pot and about twice as wide. Gently remove the plant from the container, and if the roots are circling around the root ball, gently loosen them with your fingers before planting. Position the crown of the plant so it sits level with the surrounding soil, and you don't want it planted too deeply. Backfill your soil and gently firm everything in place, then water thoroughly to help settle the soil around the roots. So you want to give your sedum room to mature. So depending on the variety, spacing is often somewhere between 12 and 24 inches apart. Always check the mature width listed on the plant tag because many varieties spread much wider than people expect. Another thing that proper spacing can do is actually improve airflow, which helps reduce disease. One of the biggest mistakes that people make with sedum is watering too often. Now, when it's first planted, like other perennials, you want to water regularly while it's establishing. This usually means watering when the first couple of inches are dry. After several weeks, once it's rooted in the garden, it actually becomes much more drought tolerant. Established sedums only need supplemental watering during periods of long drought. Remember this, it's generally easier for sedum to recover during periods of drought than it is to recover from consistently soggy soil. Sedum doesn't require much fertilizing. In fact, over-fertilizing is a great way to end up with really tall sedum that is floppy. And if your soil is reasonably healthy, you may not need fertilizing at all. If you do decide to fertilize, a balanced, slow-release fertilizer in the spring is usually plenty. Now, if you mulch around your plants, leave a little breathing room around the base for your sedum. Avoid piling mulch directly against the stems, and also avoid very thick mulch that traps excessive moisture around the crown. A light layer is all you need. One of my favorite things about sedum is how it extends color into the late summer and fall. The flower heads usually begin developing during summer before opening into a beautiful cluster that pollinators absolutely love. And even after the flowers fade, many gardeners will leave the dried flower heads standing through winter because they continue adding structure and visual interest to the garden. Sedum also requires very little pruning. I'm telling you, this is one of the easier outdoor perennials that you'll find. In early spring, simply cut away the old dried stems before the new growth appears. Now, if you have a variety of sedum that gets really tall and tends to flop, some gardeners will actually trim back about a third of the plant around May and June. So what this does is two things. It actually promotes bush growth, and then it also prevents flopping later in the year. Now, every few years, if you're noticing that the center of the plant is looking sparse or it's becoming overcrowded, you can actually divide sedum. Early spring is usually the best time to do this. Simply dig up the clump, separate it into smaller sections with healthy roots attached. That part's really important. Make sure it has healthy roots on all parts and replant it. It's really an easy way to create more plants for free. So let's talk about winter care, because when the frost arrives, the sedum will naturally die back. At that point, you really only have two options. You can cut the stems back in late fall if you prefer a tidy looking garden, or you can leave the dried stems and flower heads standing throughout the winter. Many gardeners actually prefer leaving them because they like the way it looks, and it can also offer some shelter for the beneficial insects. Then simply just cut everything back to a few inches above the ground before the new growth starts in spring. So one common question is whether sedum is actually deer resistant or not. While no plant is completely deer resistant, sedum does seem to deter the deer and rabbits because of its thick succulenty foliage. As we all know, animals will try just about anything, but sedum's usually not high on the list. So some final thoughts: if I had to choose one outdoor perennial for beginners, sedum would definitely be at the top of the list. It's incredibly forgiving, tolerant of heat and drought, it attracts pollinators, which we love, it provides beautiful late season flowers, and it asks for very little in return. Give it sunshine, well-draining soil, avoid overwatering, and chances are it'll reward you year after year with very little maintenance. So there you have it. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any tips and tricks on sedum care, definitely leave them in the comments for anybody eager to learn more, and also for myself. If you like planty stuff, that's all I post: plant care, outdoor plant care now, as well as plant shopping and that type of stuff. We also have a great community on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. All right, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of the day, and I get to see you soon. Bye.